mistletoe.
I'm gonna get to know
You better.
this Christmas.
And as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together.
This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright.
What?
We're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me.
Welcome to Manifestors, episode number 24 in the building.
Kobe.
Okay. All
Sorry,
right. Come through.
24 Kobe.
I mean,
sorry.
I get it.
My bad.
This your boy Tay.
It's your boy Dev.
It's your boy Calvin.
Okay. 2 for 2. I like it.
Calvin.
No, but today's topic is going to be a focus on, the men and also women role models that have encountered our lives. The people that might have played a big foundational role that might determine the people we are today.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of times we go through life and we don't give those people the accolades and actually acknowledge them. So this podcast is really going to be a focus on that. So I got viral clips today. So if y'all ready, let's take a listen.
How do I learn how to be a man if I have no man influence in my life?
See, the problem when a father walks out of these dudes' lives is there's a hole in his soul the shape of his father. Here's the deal, single mothers. Every boy is gonna emulate some man somewhere. He could be a good man or he could be a bad man. You got to hair up and get a good man in front of him. You don't have to be the one you dating. I ain't saying you got to go out and find a man that becomes his daddy and all this here. You just got to help get a young man pointed in his direction. And all you need is somebody older. Where you live?
South Central.
Who lives here in LA? Who gonna mention him?
You got my number.
You got all these men said they're men.
That viral clip was pretty much just showing like a lot of times going through life as a man, you need a man to be to raise you or to at least assist in raising you or somebody that you could look towards because a mother can only do so much, especially a single mother.
Yeah, tell him that. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to get us canceled.
But honestly, it is true though because like whether you got your father in your life or you don't, we all look at some men to, show us the ropes. Somebody we get attached to. Or if we didn't have somebody to get attached to, hey, it might impact us in some way. But what y'all think about that clip though?
I think that, especially as men who have like positive role models in their lives, it's easy to overlook that. It's easy to realize it's easy to just like take it for granted pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's so easy to get wrapped up in our own lives and not think about how other people might not have that same influence and how that can impact how they're brought up. Because the way I was brought up could differ significantly from the way you two were brought up, even though we all have men in our lives that help mold us into who we are today.
Yeah, I say for me, having that man or men figure is very important. For me, like growing up until like my high school years, I was just surrounded by women. I was pretty much raised by a pack of Leos, so that was fun.
Not a pack.
No, like for real, like a pack of them. Like my mom, aunt, cousins, like pack of Leos. But yeah, and it wasn't until like high school where I truly started to take that journey from becoming a boy into like a young man, because I was surrounded by more men. So, yeah.
So I guess just to get an audience a bit on the personal view, not to go too much in depth, but I guess I could start. I would ask the question in regard to, were you raised by your actual father?
Fuck no. Fuck nigga.
So I wasn't.
Fuck nigga.
I wasn't either. So my father had left when I was 3.
Fuck nigga.
But my stepdad, he stepped in.
Had this nigga waiting on the step for you.
I really was sitting there, bro. I was literally waiting.
I
for
hope
him.
you see this too.
He never showed back up, bro.
I hope you see this too.
How about you, Calvin?
So I don't share sentiment with you both. My dad was very present in my life and definitely helped shape me into who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So going back to that transitional part in life, like, do you guys feel like you ever had a point as to where? Actually, I'm gonna ask Devin this, and I'm gonna change the question for you.
But
So do you ever feel like that missing part had impacted you at any point in your life where you kind of looked in the stands, you was like, dang, it would have been nice if somebody was there?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like I still think about that to this day. Feel me? Like my I call him my dad. That's my pops for real.
Mhm.
But quote unquote stepdad, he's my pops for real. But he was always at work whenever I had games and stuff. But it's ironic. Like middle school, high school, he was my AAU coach. So I ain't had to worry about like seeing him in the stand because he was on sideline
He was
type.
always there.
I wasn't one of like the star players. But he made sure to always like on a car ride back to the crib, like, yo, this is like your dad talking, not your coach type.
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to take that cap off
Dang,
every now and again.
That's hard as a man. I mean, I would assume I ain't really play sports. I ain't really had nobody in my life push me towards sports.
thought you played center for Renaissance, bro.
I did. That was only senior year. I went through high school, JROTC for 3 years, and then senior year was like, all right, skipping. I ain't doing this no more. Let me play football.
But yeah, no, it was like a couple moments like where I was kind of like looking for him and he wasn't there because he was either at work or I don't know.
But you still can recall those moments as to when you were looking for him.
Very
But,
well.
Yeah. It's interesting how a lot of times when somebody will say something,
Mhm.
we tend to focus on not necessarily just the negatives, but the parts that impacted us the most. Because that's the earliest memory I got, is sitting on the step waiting for that nigga to pull up. Never pulled up. Hands down, the earliest memory I got in my head. And that was just, I don't remember when it was the good times. I just remember that one bad. But on your end, though, like in regard to like seeing your father constantly, how do you feel like being able to see him impacted you as a man, and then as you grew up looking at other people around you, kind of comparing your situation, how do you think that was looked at? Or did you value it more, or how'd you handle that?
I think when I was younger, I didn't value it simply because I didn't understand the value of it. It was one of those things for me where it's like, well, my dad is always here, and it's not that I'm taking it for granted, but if it's something that you never are longing for, it's like, this is my norm.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what it feels like to not have my father in my life, or like be missing at a game or something like that, because like my dad, he worked a lot, but even when he was working, like he would always make time for whatever I had to do, whether that's baseball or martial arts or going to parent-teacher conferences.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I forgot the question for sure.
No, it was more so just how did that impact you in regard to, did you value it more the older you got comparing it to other people's situations?
Definitely, I definitely value it a lot now. Simply because I'm able to look at it from a different perspective. I have a completely different lens that I'm looking at it through.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, looking at it through a child's eyes, it's like, this is just the norm. But now growing up and like seeing different perspectives and realizing like this isn't the norm for everybody, and just seeing that not only is it not the norm, but some of the men in some people's lives are not the stand-up guy that my dad is. And so that's something that I don't take for granted at all anymore. It's something that I like value very much.
Yeah, like for me, now I feel like my pop's one of my best friends. Like I go to him. We don't talk as much. That's kind of like on me because I'm always moving around. But like when we do talk, we chop it up. he's kind of like one of my best friends, like one of those councils. He has a seat on that council of men I always talk about. But seeing, like, having that relationship, I can see from a different perspective now. Now that I'm 26, I kind of lived a little bit of life, so I understand where you were coming from. Like when I think he was 20, like 25, 26 when he first came to my life. I was like 1. He was 28 when he had my sister. So he was like my age when he first met me. So he was still like growing. And honestly, he'll probably say it himself, like he didn't like reach that point of true pivot until I was in high school. That's when me and his connection like grew at an exponential rate. And now it's like he's a totally different person than I remember growing up. It's like night and day.
Dang.
So like seeing him in the past versus now, it's kind of like, damn, like if you can do that, I feel like I need to do that, even though we're still young.
Yeah.
I learn from, the older guys, learn from their mistakes and make that pivot now. So that way you're not 40 and making that pivot.
Yeah, no, that was actually about to be the next question I was going to ask. Is like, as far as the things that you guys saw, tendencies and the growth and the struggles within your role models, what kind of things did you pick up on them that you feel like you're going to transition or do better in on your own regard? Whether it's with your own kids or whether it's with the kids you around now. Because, like, even now when we go to church, my nephew was to run up to you and, like, you could see it's like a father figure type of look in your eye. Like,
that's kind of deep type shit. I'll probably touch on it. I ain't trying to go like super deep.
yeah.
But I'm trying to build my own family. My family is like small as hell. Like legit. Hence why I kind of gravitate towards your family, Haywood's family. Y'all got that family aspect that I always wanted. The one that I'm trying to create.
Yeah.
So yeah, but to actually touch on the question you asked, my parents' relationship was toxic as fuck. Like toxic as hell.
Yeah.
It got to the point where college, I couldn't even be there no more. I gotta leave because y'all, you can feel the tension in the house, and I just needed to escape. But now I can see it from both sides. I can see it from her side. I can see it from his side. I can have a different viewpoint. Now that I'm older. So to touch the question, their relationship was toxic as hell. I kind of got some of their toxic tendencies bad. So yeah.
I think for myself, one thing, any of y'all, or either one of y'all watch college football?
Duh.
Here and there, yeah.
So my dad is like one of the biggest U of M fans that I've.
Not bigger than
His
my
dad
pops.
is too.
Not bigger than my pops.
Like this man watched the game.
This nigga almost kicked him out.
Yeah, because I had on an MSU shirt underneath.
Like he wasn't.
Yeah, nah, he legit was like, or even when I was just talking about it, he was just like, bro, your man's got to go, bro. Your man's got to go.
But yeah, my dad, he's a very big U of M fan. Like, I don't know if he going to the point of kicking people out the house wearing MSU gear, but, I would see him like watching the game. Or I wouldn't even see him. I'd be in my room, in a separate room playing the game, like just chilling.
You just hear that nigga.
Just hear him like, God damn. Yeah, all the clapping. Whenever something good happened, you know it. Whenever something horrible happened, you
also know it.
hear it for sure. And that was something that like definitely it was a bad quality that I realized early on that I had. Like that getting angry at like the most unnecessary things. Like you ain't got no money riding on this game. Why do you have so much stake in this?
Right.
And so that carried over into me. Like I was very big into playing Call of Duty. And so when I played the game, like I'd be like the same way. I might not be as loud. I might be, mumbling so that don't nobody in the house say nothing to me. But I carried that same trait until like maybe 3 years ago. I remember very vividly one day I was playing 2K and I was on FaceTime with my fiance, and like she didn't know what was going on, but I was so angry at 2K, like I threw some chairs, like It was pretty bad.
You'll be sick. You probably burn your house down if you play me in Call of Duty.
Wow, that's
Okay.
great.
All right.
That's great. It sounds like there's a lot of smoke going on right now.
I think you trash, but continue.
Anyway, but yeah, like anger was one thing, but a good quality that I saw was that him and my mom will always make time for each other, and so that's a quality.
They still together?
No, they're not at the moment. Well, no, they're not. But that was something that I would always notice, like whether that's them going to the movies, whether that's them saying, "Hey, we just going out for a while." Like, I don't care what you do, just don't burn the house down. Like that's something that I carry over into my life now, and carry over into my relationship, because I understand. There's this quote that I heard that kids spell love TIMB. And I think that's the same way with like most women, honestly. Like you can say you love them all you want, but as much the amount of time that you spend with them, that's what matters to them more.
Damn, that's powerful. Yeah, for me, I would probably say just seeing my parents, like the way they interacted. I call my stepdad my pops because he's been there for so long, so that's my pops. But he just was always working. To this day, like it'd be Thanksgiving dinner. And we would literally have to push dinner up from normal, say 4:35 to like 2 p.m. just so he can cut the turkey, pray over the food, and leave to work. Like he'd literally show up to the dinner table in his whole uniform. And it's just like taking the thing that I took away from their relationship that it was negative in my eyes was constantly working to make ends meet. Like, yes, you might be supporting everybody. We might never need for anything. We might have all the clothes on our back, but you aren't physically here. Like that time part, like growing up, that love equivalent to time for a man or for a kid more so, that is so important, bro, because that's all I can remember. Like I know for a fact you doing it with the best intentions. Like you're constantly working, you looking out for us. And he stepped into the picture when my mom had 4 kids that wasn't even his. So like accolades to all the step parents. But at the same time, as a role model, like in my head, he programmed me, I don't want to work to make ends meet. And I feel like that's the cycle I'm in right now. And I hate it because I'm literally a spitting image of what my father is right now. But
I don't know. I feel like I should save it for off the camera, but you don't think it's kind of like you are put in that position because like of who you got a fiance now.
yeah.
You're trying to cater to your fiance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be vague with that. You don't feel like that's kind of like similar, like that relationship, your mom and Perry's relationship, versus you and your fiance's relationship. Like
I feel like I don't think it's as similar only because like so I feel like it's similar because my mom, when she was probably like 23 or 24, the words out of her mouth, she said, I will never work for a man ever again because she had a bad experience working like a 9 to 5. And since then, my mom is like 56, 57. She has never worked for another person, like actually physically worked for a person. But the only thing about my stepdad or my pops is he's just he's a yes man to an extent. Like I'm gonna just be honest. Like he's yes, honey, yes, like to the point of where it's kind of messed up, but he has to look to her. He's making all this money, but he has to look to her in order to get some chili cheese fries from Coney Island. Like, hey, honey, can I get $10? Like, I get it's our money, but like, you working all this overtime. But that type of, not to go into too much detail, but that's literally how it is. So I feel like it's a reflection as far as like positions. Like I'm working a 9 to 5. She's an entrepreneur. But in regard to the just pleasing, like I've had those conversations. Like if it come down to it and we got to make something shake, we got to make something shake. I'm not going to keep making something shake. Like we have to come up with a plan to execute this.
Mutual sacrifices.
Yeah, we got to give up some temporary stuff sometimes. So we had that whole conversation like 3 or 4 days ago where we sat there. We was on the borderline of tears because like I'm like, nah, straight up. If I'm ever encountered in life with a bad decision like the decision I made for this house, I need you to challenge me as a man, but challenge me to the point of you know me. You know how I act. You know the type of person I am. but I need to know that you're going to challenge me. Like before we get married, I need to know that you're going to challenge me in situations like that. And I'm not saying to the point of where we had that discussion about emasculation in the other podcast. I don't want you to emasculate me or do it in front of other people, but I want you to truly like challenge me in the man in the best way you can. Cause I need somebody that's going to push me to the point of where, Deontay, you think that's the right decision right now? Like, all right, let's look at it as far as numbers, or let's look at it as far as business in a logical manner. Cause a lot of times I do just jump on stuff. So that is my problem. But I want her to be able to recognize that in me so she can challenge me as a person. So we had that whole conversation. But in regard to the way it looks, I definitely feel like it is like a mom and pop's copy and paste right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kind of, in your original question, you kind of like had it like two tier. So I'll probably ask the second part of your question. Based off of your experience growing up with or without a father. We're all 26. Y'all fiancés, girlfriend. Like we at that age where kids start to come into play.
Yeah.
How has your experience growing up shaped your mindset when it comes to kids? Like, if you want me to go first, I can.
Yeah, you could probably go first.
So, like I said earlier, I always wanted to create that family that I wanted. I'm like if I die, my last name dies with me. My last name is very important to me. It's kind of like all a man got is his dick and his word, honestly. So creating that legacy. But being that man that I know I can be for my kids. I want them to see like, damn, dad was Superman. If he can do it, I can do it. You feel me? Like being your daughter's first love. Showing that your son, like, yeah, it's hard in this world, but the only thing really stopping you is you. And like truly building that bond with a kid, bro. Truly showing them, like being the father that I wanted growing up.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do. So I'm not at that point where I'm ready to have kids yet, because I feel like if I have kids now, I would be selfish.
Yeah.
Because one, financially, I'm not where I want to be. 2, I'm not married yet. 3, I still have some growing to do. I still got some traumas to heal from, some pains to get over. And it would be selfish of me to bring a kid into this world right now.
I wish a lot of people thought like that.
Yeah.
I wish a lot of people thought like that.
And then we gonna touch on single mothers later on.
Yeah, no, that's a part of this too.
But
you
want me to restate the question?
No, you were pretty much saying what's the negative things that you learned that you
no,
carried on,
not
or
even
is
just
it
negative, like
just
how
anything at all?
How you grew up.
Oh, how does it shape my perception of
When it
the
comes to
family I want to
kids.
build or the kids? Okay, yeah. It's actually funny because the same way that men be in barbershops, I was getting my hair braided yesterday, and me and my hairdresser, whatever you want to call it, that just sound kind of weird. But me and her were just chopping it up about kids because she has a kid, and she was like, I was like, you gonna have another kid? She's like, no, like I wasn't prepared for this. I just had him, and it was just, or had her, and I was just like, it just was what it was. But like I was talking to her about like, I want to plan it out to the point, it's never the perfect time, but you can prepare for it. You financially, if we got, say, however much debt combined, why wouldn't we build that? I mean, why wouldn't we decrease that debt before we end up having a child? Like, it does not make sense just to have a kid out of nowhere. Mecca is a big enough kid. Mecca's our dog. That is a big enough kid right now. But it's just making those decisions at the right moment. But as far as actually shaping how I see having my kids versus how I was raised, I grew up with 5 siblings. We was in a house that was really 4 bedrooms. Was piled on top of each other. We never needed anything though. But to this day, I don't like spaghetti because we always ate spaghetti. Like, we would always eat the stuff that was like something super packed that could last for days. But I just don't want my kids to feel like they don't have that one-on-one time. Hence, I don't want to have a huge family.
Nigga, I thought you said you wanted 7 kids.
No, not no more. I sat behind the Browns at church.
Bro.
Yeah, no, I'm straight.
Like, bro,
We won
I thought
3.
you wanted
3
7.
max. I said 5. Well, it's 5
You
originally.
want a whole starting 5.
But no, but I really had to sit there and think like, all right, 5 kids, 5 miles of feet, 5 college or whatever venture you want to go in. Like it's times 5. And how much space of life are you giving to them?
That's like five more people to divide your time with.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Individually.
so like, do I really want to dedicate my life to just reproducing? No. And that's where that whole image that came from my own pops, like seeing him work to provide. I don't want that to be, because no matter what, as a man, you're gonna make something shake. You ain't got no choice.
Ain't got no fucking choice.
You don't got no choice to make something shake. And I don't want to be at a point of where I'm making something shake for, you start out with 1 year and then 18 years, however much, it's gonna probably overlap to the point of where you look up and you done spend 30 years on kids. No, I'm straight, bro. 3 max, maybe 2 for real. But it's really just like, I want that alone time. I want insiders with my kids, not to the point of where the other kids is looking like, oh, y'all got this, y'all got that. But no, we got our relationship, we got our thing. I don't want everything to just seem like we always together. Like, you got to build your own relationship, because that time does equivalent. Man, I like that. That time equals love. But you really got to build your own relationship with everybody. So I feel like that's one of the most important things to me, because I didn't really have that relationship with my mom necessarily once my stepdad had came into place. Like, my mom was my best friend, bro. Like, I literally, it might sound weird. It might sound on some like weird white people junk, no offense. But I would literally get my mom's ring, go over to her jewelry and be like, Mom, will you marry me? Like, you my best friend type junk. Like, and literally get on my knee. I know that sounds weird. High key sounds weird. I've never told anybody that.
That's a nice little sound bite, but go ahead.
But but my mom was my best friend. But when my pops had came into my life, we would literally share chili cheese fries every night. When he'd get from home from work, that was his reward at the end of the day. It was chili cheese fries. And he would get off at like 1:30 in the morning. So I'd be sitting there, I'd try to fight sleep, and my mom would let me like stay up and just eat chili cheese fries with him. And that was our thing. But like, having something, you got to have something with your parent to the point of where it makes it where you feel like you're an individual and that's your person. I feel like that's one of the most important things for me, though.
I think the most important thing for me is instilling discipline. Discipline, and
You gonna beat your kids?
No,
You're not gonna beat them?
My dad never beat me.
Really? I couldn't
real?
tell.
Never got a whooping a
I
day
ain't
in my
gonna
life.
lie. It was that look.
He was in the military?
No,
Oh, damn.
like
Dang.
it's funny
How
that
you
you said
turn
that.
out like this?
So I told my father, might as well call my father-in-law. I told him like, yeah, I never got a whooping before. He was like, really? I don't believe you. And so he met my parents like the first time on Christmas.
He asked that.
And he asked, and they was like, nah, like, you just did whatever I said to do, and that was the end of it.
Dang.
And like, that's kind of like, that's the main thing that I want to instill in my kids, like discipline and ambition. Discipline, because you're going to need discipline, because it's going to be shit that you don't want to do that you need to do. Like, for me, for example, I work a decent amount of hours during the week, and I work during the weekend too. I don't necessarily want to do that, but
Gotta do what you
it
gotta
helps.
do.
Yeah,
Something gotta
and I got to
shake.
do what I got to do. So, like, realizing that I need to be a role model and showing them, like, look, sometimes you got to do things that you don't want to do, whether that's cleaning up the room, whether that's doing the dishes, learning to cook, whatever it is. You're going to need to learn how to do whatever you need to do. And then as far as ambition, not having ambition is like, it's a turn off for me, for one. And for two, I equate a lack of ambition to laziness, because that means to me, like, you don't really want anything out of life,
Just
or you're
stagnant.
just willing to be stagnant, because that's the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
And so realizing that, I'm kind of at the point where I know that discipline and ambition are like top two above pretty much everything else when it comes to raising children.
So, random question. Can you see yourself being a stepdad?
That's a tough one. I ain't gonna lie.
No. And here's why. It's simple. I don't plan on leaving my fiance.
I like that answer though.
So
I like that answer. I like that answer. I like that.
yeah,
That was
like,
okay. So in the instance as
We all single.
everybody's single.
You
Straight
meet
across the
you
board.
meet a very nice woman who has a kid. Can you see yourself being a stepdad?
And let's say if you have to throw, do you want to age or are you smooth? You just gonna just think of a kid at all?
If it's somebody that I connect with, I would probably say I would be a stepdad. It honestly would not be ideal because I don't know. I don't like that terminology, I guess. Like, I would prefer to just be someone's father and that be the end of it. Like, I don't want it to be any differences between if you already have a kid and we have a kid together. I don't want your kid to feel like they're an outsider or they're less than our child that we had together.
Yeah. Like, because being a stepkid, bro, like, I felt that. Like, sister was a princess.
Mm-hmm.
I was just the fucking hunchback in the fucking tower.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
But to answer the question, no. I think the greatest gift a woman can give a man is a kid. And if you give that gift to another man, it's like, what can you give me that's different? Like, for real.
For real.
Like, what can you give me that's different than what you gave him? That nigga's always gonna be in your life because of this kid. There's nothing you can give me that you ain't give to another man. Like, no matter if you like 26, all right, you lived life, you were single for a little bit, had bodies, but at least you ain't have a kid. That's the one thing you can give me that you didn't give those men. But if you gave those men a kid,
yeah, no,
I used to play you like a fiddle type shit.
I used to be like the type of person that would be like, I could always be a stepdad only because I'm a good person and I feel like I'm just willing to always give other people my all. But nah, the older I get, the more I realize I cannot. And only because no matter what, that kid is going to be your priority for one. Like, they're going to take priority in your life because, yes, there is a separation. This is not our child. Yeah, they should. This is not our child. This is your like, I don't want to build that perception, but that's what exists. And you're always going to be connected to that baby daddy, no matter if they in jail, no matter if they alive, whatever it is. You're always going to share those memories of the moment you held that baby the first time, the moment you guys did whatever, or you're going to have to see him on the weekend or whatever it is. It's always going to be some type of connected situation. And I'm just trying to avoid all that entirely because that's one thing as a man that you can try to draw lines as much as you want. But at the end of the day, that's that man's child. And that is that man's kid.
Like, it was a conversation I was having with my pops. Like, because this is one thing that I know as a stepdad you're going to encounter whenever you get into an argument with the mother about something that the child has done. You want to do one thing, but she wants to do another. She's always going to say the phrase, but that's my kid.
Yep.
That's my child.
Especially with disciplining. That's a big issue.
Like, I had that conversation with my pops. I was like, damn, I appreciate you for being in my life, but I would never. If I was you, I would never. Like, legit.
That's why I'd be confused how my stepdad did 4 kids. He was getting cussed out on the phone by my sister. Getting cussed out on the phone, like, you not my daddy, all that, and still saw it through.
And then you mentioned how your stepdad was a yes man.
Yeah.
Both of my grandparents were yes men. Like, legit.
I can't do it, bro.
That happy wife, happy life type relationship, that's not what I want.
Happy spouse, happy house, bro. And you ain't even got to focus on happy entirely, but happy spouse, happy house, if anything.
Like, for me, I just want to make sure that we are giving each other room to grow. We're in the garden together. We don't have to be entwined as plants all the time, but we can be next to each other. You might be a different plant than me. So sometimes your season of growth might be different from mine. I just want to make sure I'm giving you that room to grow. That's all I want in a partner.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Like, and that's what people don't truly realize, bro. Like, I heard from Anton Daniels what he said. He was like, marry where you are going to be at, and not where you are now. So us as men, if we know we're gonna be at a certain level, we want to marry a woman that's at that level and not where we at now.
The only thing with that is you have to be a mirror image of that in that moment too. Because a lot of times it's gonna seem like somebody's trying to take care of a child if you're not at that level. You might have the mentality of where you want to be at, but if your actions not speaking accustomed to the person you want to be with, all right, you say you want to do all this stuff, but that's not what you're showing right now.
If you're working, okay, I see what you said. But if you're working towards being at that level, like you're doing the necessary work,
Definitely agree.
you want to marry at that level and not where you at now. Because if you marry a girl now, she fits you perfectly right now. But in the future, like a year from now, 6 months from now, that happy stage gonna end, bro.
Move with the future in mind.
So find you a person that you know you can grow with. It's hard. You have to vent properly, but it's possible.
Mm-hmm. Shoot. So now I feel like we've touched pretty solid on the male role model aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So we can make that transition into the woman role model aspect. So I'm going to assume, based off of the discussions we already had, everybody's mom was in their life for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys feel like the role your mothers played, whether it was caring, whether it was like disciplinary, was it something that impacted you in a positive way or a negative way while growing up?
I'm going to give the political answer positive so I don't get my ass whooped. But like now I'm at an age where I can truly see like for what it was growing up, positive and negatives. I can see like the positives. All right, I want the positives from her to be in my wife. All right, the negatives that she had, let me make sure I didn't get them. Let me heal from that and make sure that the wife that I'm going to marry doesn't have that either. Because I don't want my kid feeling the way I did. But again, like I said, I was raised by a pack of Leos.
Yeah.
Or, okay, not just a pack of Leos. I was raised around a lot of women. Like elementary school, after school, my aunt was a cheerleading coach. So I would legit be around nothing but women.
Yeah.
My cousin Olivia, after school, she damn near raised us. The twins, damn near role models, like straight A's all through school, you feel me? Like it was to the point, like they were my role models to the point where like I had like a picture of them type shit in my wallet. Just a reminder to keep grinding. Shit, full ride scholarships to UMiss. So I was just raised by a lot of women.
How about you as far as the negative versus positive growing up?
Start with the positive. I think the main thing that I saw my mom do was be like a superwoman. So my mom will work practically all day. So she'll work 12 hours, come home, clean, cook, make sure my homework done. And it was something that I looked at as like something that I'm like, whoever I'm with, they gotta have these same qualities.
Yeah.
But I realized the amount of stress that puts on you. I realized the amount of the lack of happiness that it could lead to because of the amount of time that you spend in catering for other people. You're not necessarily doing anything for yourself. And so it's kind of like a double-edged sword where initially I wanted my fiance to be like that superwoman who was able to do everything. And then I was like, well, realistically, do I want her to have all this stress? And like, I only saw the aspect of my mother. I didn't see the aspect that my dad had to deal with as a husband. And so conversations that me and my fiance have had, that kind of led to a shift in perspective and led me to realize like, okay, you want her to be able to do this to an extent, but you don't want to be reliant upon her to do everything in the house and work because that just, it's not a conducive environment.
Yeah.
It's not what I would want to, it's not what I would want to do, and it's not what I would want her to have to do either.
Yeah, no, for me, I would definitely probably say overall positive. As far as like growing up, the way I saw my mom, she always was there for everything, always making sure we was up late night, making sure the projects was done, whether she did them or I did them. Always cooking, making sure everybody ate, not just us, but even people that wasn't even like a part of our family. Like, hey, come grab a plate type of thing. But it was just like a loving spirit. And then she would always turn on that white person voice when she got on the phone to call the bill collector, like, I need this, Lord, this and that. But it's just like overall, she always made stuff shake. That's one thing I could say my mom always would do is she would make something shake, and she would make sure that we all knew that we was loved. We all knew that whatever we went through, at the end of the day, God was gonna bring us out of it. And she never really showed us. I would say that might have been a kind of a negative thing. Is she never really showed us real life exists. We was always like in a box. Like we could ride our bike to this specific spot and to this other specific spot, but we couldn't see everything else on the outside. Like that's why my older sister grew up the way she did. That's why I turned out the way I turned out. Like all of my siblings are different in our own way, but a lot of us turned out the way we turned out because we were so sheltered. So I would say that was a big negative thing that I experienced growing up, was just not knowing the real world outside existed. And even to this day, like, yeah, we ate somewhat healthy, but we just had freedom to go open our fridge at 1 a.m. if we wanted to. We just go down and eat. We all was chubby kids. Go ahead, help yourself. If you want seconds, thirds, eat. My kids gonna eat.
Sound like you got some fifths.
Hey, I did, bro. I love food. But nah, just setting those boundaries, especially with food, and also just knowing that real life issues exist.
So we live in a society where we praise single motherhood. I feel like that's a cancer, especially in our culture, that we need to get rid of. The fact that we have women saying that they don't need a man to raise a child, especially for one, in this crazy economy. Two, because I truly don't want to say it, but the way the world is kind of like they're pushing more feminine stuff onto men and making our men more feminine. Like I see a lot of gay black males in the world now than ever before. That's the agenda that they're pushing onto us. And that's a product of single motherhood. So I feel like single motherhood is a cancer that we truly need to cut out. But with problems come solutions. I say a solution for me that I can truly say is, as men, we truly got to step up to. If we know, like, we don't see her being a mom, like, we don't see her as a wife in our eyes, don't even sleep with her. Don't even touch her, bro.
That's one of my barbers told me, actually.
She don't deserve it.
She don't deserve it.
She don't.
Yeah.
You giving a piece of yourself to somebody you're going to be tied to for the rest of your life. It might not seem like that, but
And the toxic ones be having the best. I ain't gonna cap.
keep you running back.
Legit.
Keep you running back.
It's a trap.
Yeah, nah. The one thing about that, too, is, like, not only are the men so feminine and so tied into whether they're gay or whether they just displaying, like, they're not structured. They're not disciplined. They don't have any drive. But also the women seem like they're picking up the pace in some aspects. A lot of, like, it's one lady that lives in our apartment. She gets up every morning at like 3:30 a.m., goes to work. She's always on you can tell that she is a strong black woman, and she gives that, like, energy or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of times as men don't want an assertive black woman, especially when they aren't submissive and they aren't willing to, I guess, kind of, not necessarily hop on a bandwagon, but when a man can't get a grasp of a woman, he like, yeah, no, I'm straight. Like, she too locked in on her career. I'm not about to touch her. I'm not doing that. Or she too locked in on these side hustles. Like, you're not going to have no time for me. So I was looking at it from both sides of the perspective. You got feminine men, and you also got women that's too headstrong in whatever career or whatever they got focused on. But they always say, it's no men out here. There's no good men that I truly want to talk to. Mm-hmm. Or it's no men that's out here willing to, show effort and put in effort for me, when really they're too locked in on whatever's in front of them that they don't even give the good men the time of day. But that's a whole nother
That's
conversation.
because a good man don't look like what they want. They want like the kind of like thug look.
Yeah.
They want that 1%ers too.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, a good man might be working a 9 to 5 as a bus driver. To touch on that popular topic that went viral like years ago, like would you date a bus driver? Talking to a woman, they were like, "Nah, I would not date a bus driver." But I don't know.
That leads me to the question of
Rapid fire.
I mean, you could do rapid fire if you want.
Is-
I have
was
one
that
other question.
Oh yeah, okay.
My question was going to be, so, Tay, you just talked about how you have these very, more so independent women.
Mm-hmm.
And so that leads to a few things. You have an independent woman who is looking for probably also a more independent man.
Mm-hmm.
But that more independent man may be, what the word be? Not afraid, but like intimidated.
Yeah.
By seeing a woman who has all her shit together. So what do you think we could do as men to make sure that we are providing women a safe space to feel like they can, like we can come together to be a quote unquote power couple?
Choose the right one. Legit, choose the right one.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes you just gotta run when you see them red flags. Like, if you can't change a person
No
entirely.
matter how fine she is.
You cannot change a person entirely or mold a person.
Like that, let that shit be another nigga's problem, bro. Like legit.
Yeah,
Let that shit be another nigga's problem.
I would honestly say, like, when you looking at a woman that's so independent and she's locked in on what she's doing, you can't, no matter what you do as a man, depending on the woman, you can't change who she is or change the way she reacts. You can, but that's the thing too. A lot of men, they end up trying to compromise themselves. Like, you still gotta set your boundaries. You gotta set who you are as a person. You gotta be aware of who you are. Because when you dealing with a woman like that, you can easily get flipped upside down. The next thing you know, you getting pulled by a leash. Like, yeah, you might have had all your side hustles. You might have had everything aligned, your vision for where your career was. Next thing you know, you supporting her for everything. You her biggest cheerleader. Because you wasn't that headstrong on the type of person you wanted to be. And you just ended up compromising completely and saying, all right, I'm just going to give it all to you.
But if she knows how to turn that off,
That's important.
I would say for sure, like my girl, like headstrong as hell, but she know how to turn it off. I ain't got to worry about that. Like I don't have to worry about her in the house or outside. She'll fight.
Yeah, she almost fought a bouncer that was like,
Bro.
he had to be at least 350, and the man had gold teeth in. She was ready to. Yeah, I'm like, bro, chill.
Like I ain't gotta worry about her type
She
shit.
was ready to scrap for sure.
Like she know how to click it off, but maybe it's because the type of dude I am,
It's a reflection back to it, yeah.
it's just a reflection of who I am. Like, I set the tone. Like I came into this shit like not on bullshit. Like I was like, this is what it is. This is what it ain't. Like y'all know what I told her. Type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
this one.
Oh yeah, no. If you ever fuck me over, you already know what I'm about to do.
Fuck this.
But I set the tone. As men, you just have to set the tone. My bad. You just have to set the tone in that relationship. And if you know you on some fuck shit, bro, just be honest about it.
That's
Truly be honest about it. Because, all right, if you see a chick, she might have just been through a breakup. You too. Hey, look, I just been through a breakup. I'm not looking for nothing serious. But I'm still trying to, talk, mingle, all that stuff. She might be down, you feel me?
and if she not,
Move on.
is
don't
what it
lie.
is.
I ain't gonna lie. I apologize for every woman out there that I didn't lie to. I'm just saying, sometimes you gotta do them public apologies, bro. Sometimes live that lifestyle.
Nigga.
Me and my girl had these discussions before though. It's funny.
Yeah, okay.
She asked earlier today. She was like, no, look. She asked. We just had a conversation. She was like,
She want her feelings hurt, bro.
no. She was like, she asked. She was like, you mentioned somebody else painted the house. I was like, fuck.
What you mean?
Bro, what?
She asked. I'm like, you for real right now? She said, yeah. She like, what you mean? Like, did they paint down here? Or They painted a different bedroom upstairs and left it at that. That's all. We was perfectly fine afterwards. It was good. It was cool.
Y'all perfectly fine for now. Y'all ready for rapid fire questions?
Yes.
All right.
Bro,
so
what?
All love.
I'm gonna start with this because we kind of touched on this topic last. Father's Day cards for mothers? Yes or no?
No.
Fuck, suck my.
No.
No, what?
No. No. And no.
I hate that.
No.
Like,
absolutely
happy
not.
Father's Day to me. I'm a single mother.
No.
That's your fault.
And the kid is still missing out on such a big portion of life because they don't have a male role, or they don't have a father. Not even just a male role model, because a lot of times you actually need a father there. You have all the uncles, all the grandpas, all the granddads you possibly want, but if you ain't got your father, I already feel bad about life.
Yeah, no, if you ain't got a pops, bro, you already took like 5 steps back in life. Like, your path to success, bro, you already at a negative.
You gotta mentally get past that in order to get back to a normal stance.
You went from a -5 to a -10. But yeah, no, fuck that.
What you think?
And let's talk about like Father's Day gift, bro.
I'm tired
Tired of the socks,
ties, wallets.
Bro, don't give me no cheap ass tools, no Black & Decker tools, no. I want my Proto tools. I want my DeWalt's. If it's not 200 and up, I don't want it. I'm just saying.
What did you just tell me the other day? You said you spent how much on 3 wrenches, or what was it? $200.
I ain't paying for my company.
I know, I'm hip, but still.
Yeah.
That's wild to say.
Proto wrenches, bro.
That's why I be coming over here borrowing tools.
You gotta think like tools last forever.
They do. That's
You
the
gotta look at
reason.
it as an investment.
It is. It is for sure.
But yeah, and that's another thing. That's another problem I have is the glorification of Mother's Day. Don't get me wrong. I celebrate it heavy.
Oh, you saying in comparison?
In comparison,
It's not the same.
It's not
Mother's
the same.
Day, Father's Day. Shout out to you, Pops.
And that's something that society has truly planted in us. Like, celebrate your mom. Don't celebrate your pops.
Or would you say that's because of the increase in single motherhood?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Bro, you got to think about it. You got to
That
think about
plays
it,
a
bro.
big role.
What's the best moneymaker? You see an increased number in single mothers. Okay, we about to
Let's market Mother's Day a bit better.
market Mother's Day.
Father's Day. Oh, we got a couple cards over there. If you ever go into a store, look at the Mother's Day selection around Mother's Day versus the Father's Day selection and how much is promoted. Like consciously, like look at that joke.
Bro.
It's actually kind of wild. Or even the card selection. If you go into a card store and you look at it, good catch.
And don't get me wrong, like, bro, I talk to my pops like, hey, what you want? What you want for your birthday? What you want for Father's Day, Christmas? He'll tell me he don't really want shit.
That's almost
Like,
all
honestly, like, what can you get a man that can get whatever he wants? Like, he just always said, like, shit, as long as you straight, bro, shit, I'm happy. I feel like I did a good job
That's
raising
really,
you.
yeah, that's a real man.
Like, as long as I'm good, that's why me and him really don't talk as much. For real. I'm so focused on making sure I'm being a product of his that he can be proud of, in a sense. So I guess you can still say I'm looking for like that. What's the word? Glory from him, praise from him, in a sense. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm being the man that he would be proud of to say that he raised. That's why me and him really don't talk that much, because I'm so focused. Like, it's kind of like bad, but I barely talk to my mom because I'm just so focused on, all right, let me make sure like I'm good so they can be proud of me. Like, I legit feel like I got so much pressure on my shoulders. So I gotta make sure I'm good.
All right, rapid fire number 2.
Mm-hmm.
As Christian men, could you have an atheist role model? Why or why not?
I mean, I feel like
No.
no matter what, if you're not giving glory to God, it's kind of raps. Like, or at least a lot of people say, yeah, I believe in a higher power, but like, who is that higher power that you believe in? I get you got some good gems, some good quotes. And a lot of times you can learn something from every person in the world, but me learning something from you might be, oh, that was a good gem, but at the same time, I'm not going to take in too much information because at some point you're going to be at the point of where you're influencing me. Like, for instance, my father, he's a Jehovah's Witness. So every time we have a conversation, I have to go into the room with a preconceived notion of like, at the end of the day, this man is going to try to pull this little book out. He going to try to preach whatever he going to try to preach. And because they literally, you know how to be knocking at your door? He does it every time. And I have to go into the room with that intention already. Like, hey, we could be cool people because we are cordial now. Like, that is something that as I grew up, we got to the point of where I'm like, I forgive you, whatever you did. Just know that everything you missed out on, that's on you. You missed out on it.
Fuck, nigga.
Yeah, you are. Hands down.
Sorry.
But yeah, nonetheless, I feel like you can always learn something from everybody. But as far as a role model, no.
I mean, I don't know. You gotta believe in something. For me, like honestly, deep down, I do feel like there's one God. It's just he has different faces.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
He just has different faces for different people. You feel me? But at the end of the day, it's all one. That's just me. I'm not saying Christianity is like, Project X, like the original, but I feel like everything just is a stem of each other, in a sense. Pastor Ruffin probably like will take my head off for saying that, but
I ain't gonna lie.
But that's just something that I always thought.
If that's your personal, that's you being honest though.
That's just something that I always thought. I feel like everything is truly tied together. Religion is man-made. Like, legit religion is man-made. There's so many branches of different religions.
Yeah. That's why I'd always tie back to who or what you believe in.
At some point, it goes back to a bunch of people in the room saying, I don't like what this says. Let's start something new, saying the exact opposite.
Pretty much.
Or let's take one thing out.
Pretty much.
Like, everything is just a branch of everything, in my opinion. So just believe what you believe in. You just gotta believe in something for me.
Fair enough.
Now, when it comes to the kids, that's gonna be a challenge.
The kids?
How we gonna raise the kids?
Oh, he was talking about a role model.
Role model. Like, could you have a role model that?
Oh, I thought you said like a partner. My bad.
I'm like,
I mean, it seemed like
strong-ass
it
drink.
seemed
My
like you
bad,
was
bro.
answering it right up until then.
You had me until you said the kids. I'm like,
My bad, bro. My bad.
kids? I'm
Strong
like,
ass drink.
Dang, you got a what kind of role model? How she
Blue-
look, bro?
Blue Magic. That's what it was called.
Blue Magic. I'm done.
My
But
bad.
would you still say the same thing, or would you change
role
it?
model?
Yeah, role model.
Nah, I believe in God for me. I can go back, even before I met like Ruffin. You feel me? It was this old head I used to work with at the airport. His name was Donnie. I would always ask him questions about like what I read in the Bible, and he would always kind of like break it down for me. So,
Fair enough.
How about you? You still gonna answer two? No, you getting ready to answer three? No. That's a tough cookie.
I couldn't. I guess that's a difficult one to just say no to, though. And the reason is because there may be role models that you have that haven't outwardly said that they're Christian.
I was thinking the same thing.
So I would say no. Just based upon that, obviously there's a gray area in that because you don't always know. Last question. What is the main quality you would lack without your role models?
The main quality I would pretty much what I would fall short of if I didn't have a role model.
Yep.
Drive, ambition, like consistency.
I said one, bro.
Oh, my bad.
This nigga.
Drive,
probably-
consistency, or ambition.
I mean, drive and ambition is pretty much the same thing. I would probably take ambition, like something bigger than me. Like my role model actually when I was growing up was my older sister, just because like she had graduated high school when she was 14.
Damn.
She went to crazy. She went to medical school, got like all this is at an early age, and it's just like dang, like she doing the dang thing, and she's so humble about it. Like she might struggle with whatever she's struggling with, but no matter what, she doesn't complain. She just makes it happen. And even to this day, she got 2 boys. And yeah, life be lifing sometimes, and she does struggle as a single mom, but she still makes stuff shake. Like she'll still cook dinner. She'll still come home from a 24-hour shift. She'll still make time to go to the gym.
Nigga, how you have a 24-hour shift?
Yeah,
And
as a
still
doctor,
go out, have fun.
and still go, and still turn up. Talk about I'm saving lives after this too. How, bro? But no,
Funny.
like still to this day, I would probably say my role model is still my sister. Like it's some things I've learned from her that I would do differently, and some things I learned about her that I would do differently. But still to this day, that's one of my biggest like consistent role models, and it's because of that ambition and drive to be something better.
That's what's up.
What's the question again?
Oh, that blue magic.
Oh, that blue magic hidden, bro.
What quality would you lack without your role model?
Are we talking about like male, female, like
Whoever it is, whoever your role
What's
model is.
one big quality you would not have?
I mean, I don't know how to answer that question because it's like I have multiple role models.
All right, for your pops then.
The art of reflection.
That's a good one.
No, for real.
Seeing how he was when I was growing up versus now. The fact that we can truly just have conversations about the past and laugh. Truly the fact that we can have conversations about his relationship with my mom. And it's just like one of my friends talking. Like type. The art of reflection. And the fact that I can truly be comfortable saying like, yo, the way you did X, Y, and Z made me feel this way. So that's why I act like this, in a sense. I'm able to do that with myself. You feel me? Hey, I made this person feel X, Y, and Z. Why did I make that person feel this X, Y, and Z? Oh, it's because I said this in a certain tone. Why did I say this in a certain tone? That kind of stems from because it was a trigger for me because of how I grew up type. So just the art of reflection, honestly. Deep reflection.
What would you say?
Mine would be resilience. So pretty much the ability to bounce back from adversity or some unforeseen bad situation. Because I'm sure like y'all have probably had these same feelings like where you're in class and you like, well, not even when you're in class, but like when you was in college and you would be like, damn, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on in this class.
Pretty off.
And I'm
Cheated.
like,
Go to sleep.
see, and you might have had the feeling like, well, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm about to just give up.
No,
Or
I'm
I'm about
gonna
to
pass
switch,
somehow.
I'm about to switch majors, or I'm about to do something because something is not clicking.
Yeah.
And it will be those times of adversity where I'd be like, well, you can either give up, and you can wonder what if, or you can keep on going, stick it out, finish whatever it is, and then you look back and be like, damn, I overcame X, Y, and Z. And I think that is one of the biggest qualities that that I would not have, because I know like there's days where I'd be like, man, I could just do X, Y, and Z and be debt free, or I could do whatever and be out of this other situation. And it's like, well, what are you giving up? Like, what's the opportunity cost of that decision?
Every day in life is a decision to opportunity cost.
Yep. And so I think I know for sure resilience would be my answer.
Yeah, no, it's funny that it would be resilience. Like how you talked about the college thing, because it was, man, I dropped out of one program, changed to another, and it's just like, I just can't quit. Like, I just can't. I ain't got no choice. But when you look back at your life, Not that we've been through a whole lot of stuff or whatever, but look at this quarter of life that we've been through and just think about all the times you overcame a situation, every time that you had to push through and you was like, I didn't think I was gonna make it out of that, but you did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like motivation for the next chapter. Like not even motivation, but it's just remembering like I've survived my hardest day. There's no point of me sitting here worrying or getting stuck on this one simple little situation. Like I got a speeding ticket, electrical stuff ain't going right at the crib's still on the market, but I've made it through my worst day. So I'm not gonna say I could care less, but I can execute and do what I can in this exact moment to try to get a different outcome. Because me sitting there thinking about it ain't gonna fix the situation. So you got to try something new sometimes. But yeah, no, I feel like that was a really good podcast. Though.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Really solid, y'all. But that's episode 24.
Kobe.
This your boy Tay.
It's your boy Dev.
This your boy Calvin.
Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Manifestors. Yes, sir.